Okay, here we go. Coming back for video number 4. Now, I read ahead in advance because I wanted to see, okay, how much of the book we have left. I can't remember from the last time I read through. I don't know if I'm going to get through this book in this video. This really could have been so many different books wrapped up in one. But anyway, I'm not going to waste time going over that again. So we left off last time. Stephanya has now, she is with the Alpha Core, and her abuela, her grandmother, has been killed by Magus Numite, and she is just broken up because she feels like she should have listened now to Brian Solari and everything he has told her about Yaira. Now, we know, or you know if you've been paying attention, that Solari largely misunderstands Yaira, as do many people in these books. They don't really understand what's going on with Yaira, and they don't understand her motivations, and it's not as cut and dry as some of them think. So now you pick up with this dialogue. I should not have underestimated Yaira's disregard for human life. This is my fault. I won't hold back next time. So this is Brian Solari thinking that this is all on him, and truly it's not really all on him. He just doesn't understand Yaira, nor does he understand the gravity of everything that's actually happening. Stephanya, can you ever forgive me? I swear to you on my honor, I will bring Yaira to justice for this. And I'm telling you, as you get through this book, you kind of get to see the murky waters and how they actually have to navigate some of these things as they realize, man, things are not what they appeared. They're not what we thought. So Stephanya says, I told you, Yaira didn't kill my abuela. That scary thing did. But she did bring you and your abuela to the same place where this scary thing was waiting. They're obviously in this together, and the other two Yaira knockoffs. So again, they don't understand what's going on. They don't know that Yanessa and Yantoni actually came to bring Yaira to justice for her crimes. And as the book moves on, you kind of learn about what exactly happened when Yaira came to Earth. Okay, I know this is difficult, but did Yaira tell you anything that could help us find her? What she wants, why she came back here, why now, why your family? So he's just trying to get answers. He's in straight detective mode. Like, why is she here? What can we assess? He, like, in a lot of ways, Brian is doing like a threat assessment and like a threat analysis, trying to figure out, okay, what angle, what can we do to bring Yaira to justice? This is what Brian Solari wants to know, because Yaira has come into FloresPark, Texas, and she has wreaked absolute havoc and carnage. And Brian Solari is not feeling this at all. So Stephanya says, why my family? That's what I've been asking myself. I wish I knew what or why, but I've already told you everything I know. I don't know where these powers came from. I don't know why Yaira is doing this to me. But before a few days ago, I swear to you, I never saw her before in my life. If I could trade these powers for my abuela back, I would. She is broken. Man, this is such a heart-wrenching story. I mean, it really is. I'm not just saying that, like, it really is. I'm sorry, Miss Martinez. I promise you, I'll protect you and I'll find Yaira, but I need your help. It's okay, sweetheart. You'll be okay. You'll see. It's going to be okay. I just told you everything I know. I'm not asking you to tell me anything more. I'm asking you to trust me. I realize I'm asking a lot, but will you trust me? I really don't like where you're going with this, Solari. You only ask someone to trust you before you try to pull some shady blank. A fair assumption, young lady, as I'm about to ask you to allow me to put you in harm's way again. No way. She's like, I'm not doing this. We're not doing this again. And you see a scene where he's talking and you actually see Braxwell looking out the window at something like what exactly is going on. So Brian says, our only lead is that Yaira is after you for reasons unknown. If we play this right, we can lure her out. We can lure her out to right where we want her. I promise you, you will be safe. We will have everything under control. Yeah, tell that to my abuela. You don't have control of. Yeah, she is not holding back. She is mad. And this spread right here, Miss Deborah Carita, all I'm going to say is yes, your art is absolutely magnificent. And I cannot wait to see what she does in Yaira #2 because I love splash panels. I've always been a fan of splash panels. Like the splash panels are like those thematic scenes in a movie that wrap up all your emotions, like everything you've been feeling through that whole movie in one scene. That's what, excuse me, hit my camera again. That's what flash panels do when I see them. They wrap everything up in one scene, and I love it. So Yaira, of course, is now bringing the weather. She is making it snow. And now you see what's going on in her head. I'm done running. I'm tired. I'm tired. I've tried staying out of sight. If they want me, they can come get me. Yanessa, Yantoni, Numite, Alpha Core. I'm done blanking around. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Look, man, when Yaira says she's done messing around, yeah, it's about to get real. And it gets so real. It gets so real. Okay, I'll make it nice and easy for them to find me. I'll play this right. I'll take out two birds with one stone. Or rather, one storm. Magus, you monster. Black sorcerer, tonight you die. What in the world? Oh my goodness, is that real? Snow? And look, man, I was living in San Antonio for that snowstorm, that big snowstorm in 2020, and it wasn't just some light flurries. I still have videos of this. It was an outright blizzard in Texas, and I was like, what the heck? I did not leave Florida and move to Texas for this. I do not want the cold at all. I'm not a cold. Born and raised in Brooklyn. I know this is a tangent, but I do absolutely do not like the cold. I never did. I was meant to be in tropical places. Okay. So Yaira says, cowards, show yourselves. You want me? Come and get me. I'm right here. Enough of your insolence. So she got the crowd she was looking for. So now, here's what's funny. Now, Yanessa and Yantoni show up, but they show up with armor this time. I think they got a good taste of facing Yaira. And I don't know what it is about Yaira. I don't know if it's something about maybe being on Earth that made her stronger, or maybe it's that she now has something to fight for, and that something is freedom. There's a lot of themes in this book that are really, really good, underlying themes that you'll actually miss if you're not paying attention. Yaira, I'm disappointed to see you alive, But surely, if you want something done right, you have to take matters into your own hands. Yo, that's a dig at Magus. That's seriously a dig at Magus. Like Yanessa is like completely like upset with the fact that Yaira even exists. Like she does not like Yaira's existence. She's like, this chick absolutely, positively has to go. Has to go. She has to be up out of here. So she says, you far exceeded our expectations, but I never thought much of you. Pity you will die here and never again see your true home. So she didn't like Yaira from the get-go. She always had something against Yaira. Then this Magus Numite responds, perhaps your head shall return to serve as a warning to those foolish enough to follow in your footsteps. And Yaira says, I'm not the first to betray your stupid laws and leave. Interesting. So we get a little sense that there's something with their laws that were maybe a little oppressive. So Yaira and someone else, I wonder who that someone is, decided, you know what? We are out of here. Silence. Don't you dare speak his name. You see, this is what happens when rebels aren't brought to justice. You get funny ideas and forget your place. You forget your place, Yaira. Yanessa, do not allow her to bait you. She's trying to antagonize you, my lady. And she says, Yaira, I will wipe that smug smile from your miserable face once and for all. And Yaira says, you shall have to catch me first. Magus Numite says, running again? Pathetic. Why run when I have you exactly where I want you? See, she's using her head. She's thinking. Yeah, this is the point where Yaira starts playing chess. She starts realizing they don't know this world, but Yaira does know this world. And Yaira could actually use this knowledge she has of this world, of this realm, against them. So she says, welcome to your icy graves. Yo, Yaira, look, when I tell you this battle right here, Yaira ain't playing around. Yaira is playing for keeps. Cute, Yaira, but make no mistake. You overly indulgent child. This is where you die. And she says, after you. Yo, this battle goes down. The level of disrespect, you turn your powers on your own kind. We are your champions, your gods. You are nothing compared to us. So we see that there is a hierarchy in the realm Yaira comes from. There's a hierarchy of people, and Yaira is not one of the elite class or the royal class. So they are like, they cannot understand, like, how could Yaira, like, what is it? How could she be this way to us? We are her betters. But Yaira has been gone for a long time. Yaira has experienced a little something we call on Earth freedom. And yeah, it's setting well with her. She likes the taste of this freedom and she would like to keep it. Looks like this nothing almost has two gods matched for power. You tell me who's pathetic. Man. She is really, you know what Yaira's doing? Yaira's pushing the buttons of Yanessa. Yantoni has his head sewed on straight. Magus thinks he has everything figured out. And Yaira's actually thinking several moves ahead of him. Like, she's actually planned this thing out quite thoroughly. Yanessa responds, match for power. You know nothing of power. And then Alpha Core shows up. This is actually a dope scene. And she says, "Hey, handsome, what took you so long?" At some point in this book, there is something with her and Brian Solari. And at some point in this book, whatever this something is between her and Brian Solari, I don't know if it's like that antagonistic, I don't know what's going on, but I like it. I like this whole dynamic. And so, she asks what took so long. And Brian says, "Snow in Texas this time of year? Reinforcements, Yaira? How cute. Now you can all die together." This is really getting to be a big old battle. "Yaira, you traitorous worm. You die with your pathetic human friends. Her Grace Yanessa has spoken and sealed your fate. Infidel, you at long last will be brought to justice by those superior to you." They really have something about this superiority complex. Like, they are all about it. Like, they are ate up with being superior to Yaira. "You're all under arrest." Of course, here goes Brian Solari. They're like, he notices, obviously, they're not even speaking the same language. Like, what would make you think they understand you? If you're all under arrest. If you Tempest have any idea what the blank I'm saying, put your hands in the air or be eradicated. This is your only warning. Oh, before I read that, Magus Newmite actually said something, and I forgot to read what he said. He says, "Human flesh, the swarm is so hungry. We shall feast on yummy, tender flesh. What sweet pleasure." And then Ingrid says, "Come peacefully, Yaira. We have something you've been looking for." And then Yanessa, covering her ears, they really don't like the English language. She says, "Ugh," or just human speaking in general. "What is that awful sound they're making with their mouths?" And Yaira says, "They're talking to you. They say surrender or die," and something about how their eyes bleed, setting their gaze upon your hideous, boorish faces. She is antagonizing. I like the fact that they have this back and forth. And to anyone who has said that these books don't have interesting dialogue and they're not written well, man, I beg to differ, because I'm telling you, all of these books so far, including Isum, have been extremely interesting reads to me. I have loved every minute of reading through these books. So Yantoni says, "You dare speak to an advanced life form in such a manner? Words have dire consequences where we hail from." And Brian says, "Incoming, break formation, take them down." He is so, look, I tell you what I like about Brian Solari. He is no nonsense, definitely a military man. Like, if you've ever been in the military, you know his type. Like, he is ate up. This is his life. Tactics and procedures. He is that kind of guy. And I like it. I like it. I like his character. At first, I tell you, initially, I did not think I was going to like his character. I thought, man, I'm not going to like this at all. But yo, I was shocked. I actually grew a love for his character, especially after reading Alpha Core. Alpha Core gives you a different part of Brian that you don't expect to see. Okay, so he says, lethal force, or Ingrid says, "Lethal force authorized, sir." And Brian says, "By any means necessary, Ingrid, and I mean any." Okay. Braxwell brings out the big guns. He about to launch some rockets up in here. So he says, or Ingrid says, how's anyone supposed to see and this crappy and this crap pretty much? Anyone got eyes on targets? Braxwell, look out. The family is hungry. A hot meal. It's Magus Newmite talking. So he goes to shoot. Of course, he misses Magus Newmite. His rocket launcher is frozen. And he's like, Braxwell doesn't say much. I love that about him. I don't know why. I hope they get into explaining why Braxwell doesn't speak much. He is a man of few words, but when he gets into action, man, does he get busy. I have ruined your toy, you ill-bred oaf. Oh, no, you don't. So now Ingrid is like, oh, you think you got him? She takes her lassos, puts it around the legs of Yantoni. Really? Your language is so underdeveloped. It hurts my my regal, and he's about to say ears, and she yanks him. Yo, they're getting busy. Yo, Alpha Core, I don't think we've really seen the full might of Alpha Core in any of these books yet. I think they've been holding back purposely on the strength and power of Alpha Core, and I can't wait to see them go completely absolute nuts. I'm waiting for that book. Okay, so Brian says, well, what are they saying? Do you know? And Stephanya says, I'm not one of them. I don't know their language. And then this is him, Solari thinking in his mind, brilliant strategy, Yaira. Or brilliant strategy. Yaira has the strategic advantage, being the only one to speak both languages. But why? And now she goes into speaking Spanish. She says, Stephanya, I don't want you hurt. Or I don't want to hurt you. I knew Carmen, your abuela. Well, I knew Carmen, your abuela, well. I loved her. I lost her too. What? Like I should trust you because you can speak Spanish? Just give me a chance to explain, and I'll tell you everything you want to know. Can you live without knowing? Can you live without knowing what you have? What you have left to lose? Man, I cannot get my words out. Good grief! What do you have left to lose? And Brian Solari says, just her life. Stephanya, run and hide. As long as you're here, Yaira won't retreat. You think you're the only one that's bilingual, Yaira? Cute tactic to command your friends without alerting us to what you're saying. Now, this is where Brian is in some ways underwhelming in his perception. And this is why I like Ingrid's character even more, because in Alpha Core #1, you really get to see that she has a thoughtful mind that is in many ways surpasses Brian. But maybe that's because we just haven't seen all there is to know of Brian just yet. Maybe that's the case. We shall see. They're not my friend. Oof. And then she's knocked off. Oh, look, I found the abomination. They do not like Stephanya. They do not like the fact that she has powers. And so Brian says, enough talk. Actions speak louder than words. So he's like, all right, I can't understand your language, but that doesn't mean I can't handle you. And they don't know. Brian is powerful. They don't understand. Magus Newmite, Yanessa and Yantoni, they don't understand that Brian is powerful. They might think that all the beings in this realm don't have any kind of strengths that can match them, but they are mistaken. There are beings that do. And so Brian says, Stephanya, don't go with her. No. So, they leave. And now you fast forward to Projexis, and now you see all of these bugs again. And she says, about time. So clearly, whatever device her and Yaira had worked on, or the device that Yaira gave her the specs for, is now done. And she said, "Where is she? Uh, Sally was severely injured from her fight with those three strangers. I should have never let her leave in that condition. It was too soon. But those organs I saw inside her, what is she? I couldn't begin to understand what it is and isn't within her capabilities. Let there be light." So she turns on the device, and all of those bugs that Magus Numite let off are zapped. And he, obviously sees what's going on, and he's like, "My children, my babies, no." And then you see Brian Solari has Yantoni in a headlock, and Ingrid has Yanessa grappled with her lassos. This is a lot. It's a lot going on. This was the battle I didn't know I needed in this book, but I needed this. I'm trying to remember. I got to read through Alpha Core again. Is this the most action-packed book the Rippaverse has put out yet? I have to read Alpha Core again and the Horseman again, because the Horseman, yo man, he was getting busy. Okay. I'm impressed, Altona. You ended the swarm. I cannot overstate the importance of preventing an invasive species from spreading to habitats not created to sustain them. Ever the scientist, Altona is very smart and perceptive woman. And this is the part of this book that I love. I love the fact that you kind of get to see the personality of these characters. They come out in ways that attach you to them in ways that you did not expect. Like, I didn't expect to be attached to the characters that I am attached to, but I actually love these characters. Okay, so I'm going to kind of fast track through this because I don't want this to be an endless number of videos. So this is what happens. I'm going to now start getting to some brief breakdowns. Yaira brings Stephanya to Altona for protection. She's like, "Look, I want you to protect her here because I cannot protect her, and I want you to make sure nothing happens to her." So Yaira is going off to face Yanessa, Yantoni, and Magus Numite. She wants to bring this to a complete end, and she promises Stephanya that she will tell her everything she needs to know. And she lets Stephanya know if she doesn't come back, it won't matter, because Magus Numite will hunt her down and will kill her. So whether what she knows or doesn't know, it won't matter. So Altona puts her in this cell with this like plasma barrier. So she's like, what the heck? But it's for her protection. Yaira wants her to protect her. So she said, I'm going to protect you. So now you get a flash back to Yaira's past. And I wasn't going to read this, but I wonder if I should. I'm just going to give you, I'm going to give you the backstory. Okay. So Yaira comes crashing down to earth. And from what it seems, I'll have to read through again to make sure. From what it seems, Yaira was actually looking for someone. Who is that someone? We find out who that someone is, Neptune, at the end of this book. Now, I get the impression that she was actually sent by the royals from her realm to find Neptune. That's what it seems like, but she never returned. It's kind of I'm kind of vague on that as I was reading through this, and I'll have to read through it again, just to make sure. But as you can see, let me see. I'm gonna show you. There's so much more to this book. There's so much more. I might do one more video. I might just do that. I might do one more video, and I might read through the rest of it just to show you what happened. But as you can see, this book is chocked full of action. So much action and so much going on. And hopefully in the next video, I'll probably be able to finish it out in that video. So it'll be 5 videos. This is video number 4. This is crazy. And in that video, you'll see the family that Yaira had when she came to Earth, and how she did not realize that humans don't live for thousands of years like she does. She had a conversation with her husband, and we'll see all this, where he was like, yo, I can't wait to spend, I can't wait for it to be 10 years. And she's like, I can't wait for 10,000 years. Now, I don't know if he fully understood that she's probably literally going to live or been living for thousands of years before that point, and 10,000 years is nothing. She didn't understand how short the life of humans were. And she actually comments on the beauty of the planet Earth. She noticed the beauty here. Now, what was that beauty? I think that beauty was the freedom that she did not have in her realm. She was free in this world to enjoy the things that she saw freely. And I think that really affected her profoundly. And we're going to dig into that a little bit, or maybe a lot, in the 5th and maybe final installment of my Yaira deep dive. Man, this thing is going long.